What you're going to see here are 4 vignettes on ageism. These small scenes were written specifically for this project. All the actors that you are seeing in the vignettes are members of the Toronto Seniors Forum and of CareWatch, the 2 groups which, with the aid of a New Horizons grant, produced the learning module on ageism that you have before you. Now, none of us are professional actors. Believe me, far from it. Thus, what we have chosen to do is present these vignettes using scripts. In other words, reading them rather than doing a full-fledged performance where you would have to memorize the parts. The idea is for you to actually look at the vignettes and take on the roles yourself. In other words, act them out and present them with your group rather than just looking at these on the video. We want you to perform them. In the 6 pilot community sites where we tried out these 4 scenes and refined them, participants got the message most strongly when they looked at the vignettes, not at the PowerPoint presentations or even at the text. After the vignettes, we had groups discuss them, and that is where the actual discussion around ageism came in. So we really encourage you to do that because it will ground the learning module. Thank you. In this vignette, what we have is a mother and a daughter sitting at the kitchen table. They are discussing the fact that mother has retired a couple of years ago and is saying that she is feeling old. She is in her late 60s, and her daughter obviously is at least 20 years younger. But the focus is on how mother is feeling about being retired.
This isn't the time to take major life risk, Rita.
But Mom, you're only 67. You've got more energy than I do. There are lots of people your age running businesses.
Yeah, but not starting them. It's too late now.
Would you have said that at 45?
Probably not.
I can tell you, you wouldn't have. That's when you left the civil service to go back to school. Think what you would have missed working as a nutritionist.
What's your point?
You had 20 years in a new career. You might now have 20 more years doing something else that you love. Or even if it's 10 or 15 years, wouldn't that be worth it? There are years ahead of you still.
I know, but it's not the time of life to start over with something new.
Who says?
Well, I probably don't have many years to live.
You don't know. Look at that mayor, Hazel McCallion. She worked until she was over 90. You did have the energy until you retired. I don't even know why you retired. You didn't need to.
But I'm feeling old. I'm slowing down. That's a reality.
I hate it when you say that. You've only been slowing down since you stopped working.
Well, I still work, Rita. Volunteering is work, and I take that seriously.
It's true, but you've always had this dream of setting up a little shop with a healthy cafe and teaching nutrition to people who need help.
Yeah.
You can hire students to do the heavy work. Did that dream die?
No, the dream didn't die, but I need to be realistic. It's too much for me.
Who dictated this realism?
You don't understand, Rita. All my life, 65 years, was front of me as the time to stop working.
Yeah.
Yes, life may continue. Yes, may have a lot of free time and maybe time to have new hobbies and maybe travel if I had the money. But it's not the same like having a work. I could even afford to be sick if I need to because I'm not letting anybody down. But that is different. I cannot think now in terms of decades of work. What if my body doesn't help me? what if my health is not strong? What if I don't have the energy? Remember, I had a hip replacement 10 years
Yes,
ago,
that's true.
and that totally changed the way I see things. So, no, my body may fail me again, and then what?
But Mom, are you happy this way?
What is be happy? All I can say is that I'm grateful to have what I have. I need to accept my time and not fight it. Just age gracefully, the best I can.
When I'm 67, is that what you'd want for me?
No, no. But I'm sure things will be very different then. Would be very different because people would look at age in a different way. The boomers have already paved the way.
Mom, you are a boomer.
Me, a boomer?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if I'm a boomer, then means changes are yet to come.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel that I'm totally reminded that I'm old. I was complaining the other day at the restaurant because the sound was so loud.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked the person to bring it down. They say they did, but I know them. They didn't do it. You know, they look at me and they see, it's like they don't see me. I'm invisible. And probably he thought, oh, that poor old folk. What does it know? He doesn't count. So that's what I'm feeling all the time. You know, half of the people in that restaurant were more or less my same age. Many of them, I bet, they also had hearing aids. Mm-hmm. But it's like we don't count, right? It's like they don't realize how difficult it is for an older person to try to follow and focus on a conversation in a public place with that big sound blasting away. So yeah, it's sort of depressing, but that's what happened. You know, and it happened everywhere, in grocery stores, even in Value Village. I was at a Value Village the other day, and the music was so loud that I had to call someone and say, it is too loud, can you bring it down? And you know what the clerk said? Said, well, this is what customers like. As if the only customers who count are those in their 20s. Mm-hmm. So that's the feeling, that you're getting older and you don't count anymore. That's what makes me feel old. Yeah.
What about at the doctor's office? Do they make you feel old?
Well, yeah. Even that, when I went the other day to the dentist, and you know how much I love the dentist, he's very nice and so on, but he asked me to reschedule my appointment because he had an emergency. Mm-hmm. Of course I said yes, right? Who would say no? But then I realized that there are 3 other people in the waiting room, and they are all being seen by the doctor. By the way, they were all younger. Oh. So you wonder, what is it? Is it age? Is it the service? Is it me? What is it that is changing? You know, it was really bad because it took me a while to get there. I had to take a taxi back and forth. And you know, I don't have the money to do that regularly.
Why didn't you hop on a streetcar?
Hop on a streetcar? Nobody hop on a streetcar at my age, Rita. You have no idea what it's like. When I feel a little bit tired, that first step to get into the streetcar is so difficult. It's really impossible. You know, these are all constant reminders that you're really feeling old.
At least the buses go down, so you could get on that first step if they lower the bus.
That is true, and many drivers are very nice, but there are others. All depend on their mood and on the time. So often they look at you as a big inconvenience because you are a little bit slower and you have to struggle to get up in the bus. And remember when we went to the neurologist together? Mm-hmm. You know, the one that we had to wait so long to get that appointment? So when we finally got in, what happened? He asked you the questions about me. And there I was, I'm the sick person, but no, it's really awful. It's a farce. And how do you think I feel with that? I feel very old. And I know I should have said something, but I sort of shrink into an old little lady, and I didn't say anything because my confidence, my strength all went away. You know what happened? Sorry, I realize is that that doctors don't have the interest in making you better. In the past, they did that, but not anymore. I think that they have a different perception about me. I mean, they see me as a drain in the medical system, as a nuisance, and one of those tsunamis that are making, the healthcare costs skyrocketing and bankrupting new future generations. So that's the general feeling, and that's what affects me.
Old age. Oh,
Yeah, sorry, no. I just wanted to say that, when I think of that, I realize that words have power and really bring your self-esteem down. I know I'm becoming the stereotype of a complaining senior, but people never bother to ask why is it that we complain, whether our complaints are valid or not.
that's true. Old age isn't for sissies, right?
I hate that expression. The problem with old age is other people. They treat it like a disease. I felt young when I was 65 and retired, but not now. So if you want to know why I don't have as much energy as before, and why my idea of begin a new business is down, is because of that. It's because I feel totally drained away, and my confidence has gone with it. And I guess this is how people grow old.
In this vignette, we have two sisters of Italian heritage who have recently come back from a movie, and they are sitting in one of their living rooms discussing what life is like now that they are in their 70s. Later on, you will see that other members of the family come in, husband and his friend, and then earlier in the scene, her daughter flies in for a very quick visit. But the real focus of the scene is the experience of the elderly sisters.
It was nice to go out for dinner and a movie for a change, huh?
Yeah, and I'm glad we walked back. I don't know why I think I can't do a 40-minute walk anymore. I'm fine. We should do it more often.
Since the men have gone to the Diplomatico, why don't we have tea and treat ourselves to butter tarts?
Woo, you always have butter tarts on hand.
I buy them by the dozen from the Scottish bakery. But don't tell Georgia. She says, Mama, you shouldn't be eating sweets. You should eat this, you should eat that. You're getting enough protein? Sometimes I feel she's the mother.
But at least she cares.
Yes, she cares. But she goes into my cupboards and the fridge to see what I've got. I would never have done that at my mother's house. So I have to hide the butter tarts.
Where do you hide them?
Oh, I put them in the bread milk. The one they gave me for Christmas. Seriously, Gina, I have made bread the old way all my life. Why do I need a bread maker now? It just sits there useless, except I hide the butter tarts in it.
Has use. Listen, at our age, if we can't indulge in some treats, what's the point? We put on a little weight. Who's even gonna notice?
I'll get the butter tarts here.
Okay, goody. What did you buy at La Senza?
Oh, let me show you. It's a purple.
Oh, la la. A purple satin nightgown. Is that a surprise for Sal?
Oh, yes, it's his birthday coming up. next weekend, and I planned something special. You don't think the gown's too much or too young?
No, are you kidding? You're going to look very sexy in it. Like Sophia Loren. Ageless.
Well, I think she gets a little help. No one looks so good at 80.
You're kidding. Yeah. You mean plastic surgery? No way. Probably she uses some expensive creams. You know, I found this anti-aging cream. Costs a little fortune, but it promises to lift your face and make you look 10 years younger. Maria told me it really works.
So, you look 65, Gina. But what good is that?
Well, that's not nice. I never thought of it that way. I don't think of myself as 75, more like 50. So minus 10 years makes it 40. That sounds pretty good. Oh, well. Tell me about your special plans.
Well, I'm going to tell Sal that we will go for a picnic in the country. Sal does not know, but I've booked a little cabin with a fireplace. My cousin owns it, so we're going to get a deal. We'll have champagne, a nice light dinner, and I want to make sure he doesn't get sleepy before the main event.
Mama.
What a surprise! What a surprise!
Well, you know, I had a meeting not too far from here, so I thought I'd drop in. It's been a while, sorry.
Yes, it has, but I know you're very busy.
Yes, well, you know.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
My goodness, you look so stylish. What a beautiful suit.
Well, thanks. You know, the clients expect it. Butter tarts, Ma?
It was really sweet of Auntie Gina to bring it, wasn't it?
Well, yeah. Sweet is right. My God, those things are pure sugar.
We wouldn't have it any other way.
You see what I mean?
So, where's Pop?
He's gone off to the cafe, as usual, to meet with his buddies.
What now? He should be drinking coffee so late.
Why? He can sleep fine. It doesn't affect him that way.
Oh my God! Why didn't you tell me you got a cell phone?
It's not a cell phone. It's an iPod. But I can get the internet on it, check emails, and for a lot less money. And it's very light.
Yeah, it is. But, you know...
Hey, you should have gotten an iPad mini, Irma. Like I have. It's light, too, but easier to read. I went for the 16 gigs of memory so that I can download movies.
Well, I go for the 16 gigs too.
Oh my God, you guys are like computer geeks. I'm so impressed. Hey, Mom, did you go get your hearing checked?
I have been busy.
Well, I mean, you got all day. You know, you shouldn't put it off. You keep complaining that you can't hear anything when you go to the theater, so I'm thinking you probably need a hearing aid.
Well, I can sit in the front row. I don't want a hearing aid.
Oh, come on, that's just stupid.
I think of better things to do with $2,000.
What? They can't cost that much.
Well, they do. At least the good ones do cost that much.
Really?
I don't want to look like I have a growth growing out of my ear.
You're just being vain.
You sit down, have a cup of tea with us, and one of those tarts I bought.
Well, you know, I'd like to, but I do have to get home. You know, Paul and I are trying to get away next weekend. We're both just stressed out of our minds, and I don't know. I think that if we don't manage to connect again soon, well, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
Are you having problems?
Hey, why don't you just stay here and tell us about it?
Well, that's kind. I don't actually have time. I don't know. It's just, you know, we're both working crazy jobs, and
Well, maybe we can help. You know, we have lots of experience. Tell us about it.
well, thank you, but I don't know. Marriage advice is a little different in your day. It's not really something that you guys have much experience with, but thanks.
Try us. We have over 100 years of marriage experience between us.
Well, I would, but I don't actually have time now. Look, I wanted to ask you, I was wondering if you and Pop would come over and take care of the kids next weekend. Actually, for 3 days, because Paul and I are going to need a long weekend.
Next weekend?
Yeah, you don't have anything special, do you?
Well, it's Papa's birthday.
Oh, shit. Right, I forgot. Well, but we've already booked the inn. I know. Why don't you guys have a little celebration with the kids, and then maybe we can all get together the following weekend?
But your mama has.
Oh, well.
But do you have
It's fine. We'll be happy to take care of the kids.
Good. That's great. Thanks, Mom. I knew I could count on you.
And there's something I want you to do for me.
What's that?
Irma, come to a mother-daughter spa with me. I want it. We can go anytime in the next 2 months. Won't that be fun? We'll have a facial, a mani, and a pedicure.
Well,
And a massage.
I don't know. That's very nice. I don't actually know. It's so hard to make the time. But, maybe. Yeah. We'll see. I'm really sorry, but I do have to run. So, bye, Auntie G. Good to see you.
Bye.
And I'll talk to you about next weekend. Bye, Mom. Just one tart, okay?
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Why didn't you tell her about your plans? You have the whole weekend booked.
I know. But you need to be there for the kids. I don't like to say no. I hardly see them. They're so busy with their own lives. And I don't want my grandchildren to forget who I am.
But think of how tired you were last time. She's got 3 little boys, Irma. It's a lot for someone your age. You're entitled to have your own priorities.
Can you believe her, Cecil? Hi, Papa. Did you check out those condos by the lake? Not even a hi, Papa, how are you? I don't even want to live by the lake. That's her dream.
Condos?
Hi, Cecil. How is the job hunting going, Cecil? You know, Cecil was laid off last year.
No. It's too bad.
No one's hiring 60-year-olds these days. All I can get are a few days here and there, but absolutely nothing is permanent. The people doing the hiring are 20 years younger, so they look at me like I'm ancient.
But that's age discrimination, isn't it? Isn't that against the law?
They're a clever lot. I got an interview with a construction company last week. But when they saw me, they said, well, they didn't really have any work right now, that they were just putting people on a waiting list so when business picks up. It's a lie. My wife says that I should dye my hair so I look younger. You know, I thought of doing that.
You know, it's not fair.
It's not fair. Sal, Irma, what's this about condos? You're not moving away, are you?
No.
No, Georgia, she thinks the house is too much for us. How could she even know? She's never here.
You know, she worries about the stairs and thinks that the garden is too much for her father. She thinks it would be easy if a nice new condo that we don't have to worry about the furnace and to look after the repairs and the roof.
But does she ever even ask us? I am not moving to a condo with these fancy people that I don't know. We've been here for 40 years. I planted those peach trees and the grapevines out back, and they're finally starting to give us fruit. How many jars of peaches did we can last summer, Irma? And what about my cantina?
Oh my God, you can't leave your cantina.
No, but Cecil, come on, tell me. Where am I going to put a cantina in a condo? Where would I put the preserves and the sausages? We canned 5 bushels of tomatoes last summer. Where do you do that in a condo?
And then there's that cheese you guys make.
Yes, Irma's mozzarella and my wine cellar. I asked her, where can you make wine in a condo? And Georgia says there are these stores that you can make it in, and they'll ferment it there for you. Oh yeah, I said to her, I like the smell of the mushed. It rises up from the basement. I like the smells of each of the seasons. In condos, they don't have smells like that. Vito, his kids, they moved him to a condo. Great view of the lake. All new. But then Connie dies, and now he's alone. None of the neighbors talk to him. He's just some old man to them. You know, his kids hardly visit, and now he misses the old neighborhood. They think they're caring for you, but they don't see anything. They don't ask anything. I mean, sure, there are things we would love for them to do for us, but they don't bother to ask what they are. Sometimes I feel older after they've come.
You know, back home in Trinidad, it's a better place to be old. You can get free transportation. Young people call you dad or uncle, but it's out of a sense of respect. They figure you know something, and they listen. My wife, though, everybody listens to her. She keeps the family in line, just like her mother did back home. You don't hear them give her any back chat.
Oh, you should hear our kids go on about the new car we bought.
Oh, yeah. How dare us old people buy a new car? A sports car at that. You know, we scrimped and saved for that thing for years. And now, to them, we're like teenagers every time we go driving with the top down. You know, it's not appropriate, says Georgia. Appropriate for what, I say. Pop, you're going to attract too much attention, Marco says. You know what? I haven't gotten attention in years. I deserve a little bit.
Georgia says we're being selfish because we won't be able to pick up the grandkids in the car. Selfish, you know.
Yeah, well, they also say what's the point in buying a new car when we can only drive it for a few years?
Why only a couple
Why
of
only a
years?
few years?
Because they think I'm getting too old to drive. And I'll have to stop driving. But there's a test, I tell them, and I'll pass it. We're afraid you'll have an accident, says Georgia. So, I said, if they're afraid of the accidents, why don't they get those 20-year-old punks off the road? They cause more accidents than we do, yet we're the ones that get all the publicity when something happens. Kids, you know, wait till they get old. They won't understand it until they do, and by then, I'm not going to be around for them to apologize to.
In this vignette, we have a son and his mother. They actually belong to the Chinese community, and they are sitting and discussing the experiences that mother has had with both the family doctor and with a specialist. In the vignette, you will see the two of them sitting in mother's home discussing her experiences. Later on in the scene, there will be a quick cut so that you can see exactly how they interacted with the neurologist in the neurologist's office. And then they come back at home and discuss what the experiences would be.
Mom, how did your appointment with Dr. Chow go?
It was short, but I had to wait a long time. I should have taken my book. All they had there was a Zoomer magazine, and it was so depressing.
Why depressing?
What do you mean, you haven't seen one?
Well, of course I've seen them. I've never actually read one, though. Gotta admit, I'm not exactly their demographic.
Well, maybe you should look at it, because they got pages and pages of super seniors, everybody looking great, doing amazing stuff, like they go mountain climbing and solo sailing and all this, and also going to exotic places. So everyone there that is really, these super people are not real people. By the way, they also maybe all be rich. It's really depressing. Now, men, you see men that look older, but women, whew, no, everybody looks like are totally wrinkless, but they're supposed to be seniors. So obviously everybody has a facelift, right? No other way. And when I think that many years ago when the facelift started, we all thought this is absurd, crazy. It's not going to expand. But look at today, even young people are doing it. People in their 20s. And one wonders how a person who is still so young is concerned about wrinkles and going through facelift. What's going to be of them when they turn 60? How they're going to cope with age?
Well,
It's absurd.
60 isn't old. It's the new 50. You know, maybe even the new 40.
And then What do you think 75 is?
I don't know. The new 60? The new 55?
I think that you're wrong. 75 is 75. There is no other way of it.
But you can help yourself to age well, though. You could put up a little fight.
How?
Exercise. Do you still do the Tai Chi at the community center?
Well, no. Unfortunately, I had to stop going because I had, it was painful. You know, my knee, this knee is really bothering me for quite a while.
Mhm.
And how do I know that I'm not causing more damage? So I
Well,
stopped.
If not the exercise, you could go for acupuncture. That might help.
Yeah, I tried acupuncture. I went there 3 times, but it was very, very painful.
Well-
And so I really, it hurts even more when I do the movement, so I stopped.
Let me try to find you a physiotherapist then. They can watch how you move and maybe they can see if you're straining some of your muscles, or they might put together some exercises that could help you build up your strength.
No, physiotherapy is a great option. It's just that, let me tell you, what I found out is that most of clinics do not accept people who have only OHIP. So for most of physiotherapy clinics, you have to pay. And unfortunately now, I don't have insurance, so I cannot afford them.
But I thought you still had your coverage even after you retired.
Well, I did. You're right. I did for a while, and I had to pay a little though. But when I turned 75, then they put me on a different level, and then the rates go so high that definitely my income is going down, the rates are going up, no way to catch up. So no, I don't have that. And you wonder, no, what is the vision of governments when would be a lot, a good way of doing health cost, more conservative, if they offer all seniors physiotherapy and also acupuncture. You know, that would be a fantastic way of keeping people more mobile, healthier, and more importantly, in terms of cost, away from hospitals.
No,
But no, there is no vision.
you definitely have a point there, but let's get back to your appointment. How did that go?
Oh, you don't know. I didn't tell you. I almost didn't make it. I was crossing Jarvis. You know, Jarvis have 5 lanes. You know, very slow with my knee hurting and so on. And then the light turned yellow. Everyone that was crossing with me just zoom on the other side. The cars start honking at me, and I get so nervous, and I'm doing my best, and I'm trying to walk as fast as I can, and it's painful, and it was so scary. I had a very, very horrible experience. My heart was like this when I got to the other side.
I'm
Really
sorry, Mom.
awful.
It's okay. Here, let me make you some tea, okay?
No, my dear, don't make me tea. It's too late now. Look at the time. No, it's too late. I prefer water because tea I cannot sleep well at night.
Here's some water for you.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. That's great.
So, did you get to the appointment on time after
Yes, yes. Finally, with all this story that I'm telling you, I managed to get there on time. But once I got there, I had to wait and wait. And let me tell you, I saw other people who were coming after me, and they were being seen by the doctor first. You know, and it's not my imagination. These things have happened before.
But what did she say when you finally got in?
Well, yeah, that was another story. Finally, I got in, and I wasn't there for more than 15 minutes. And believe you me, I planned the meeting quite well. I made a written note of all my things in order to be more efficient with time and not to forget anything. I was going through my first item on the list, my knee, and when I was going to move to the next one, the doctor said, "Oh no, we're going to deal with only one issue today. So if you have other concerns, please go and make another appointment." Can you believe that?
But that can't be true.
No, but it's true. It tells me that that's how the way that they build to OHIP. One issue at a time, because they can build OHIP every time. So that's why I really miss Dr. Kwan. Remember Dr. Kwan? She was the doctor I had before. She was my age, so she understood very well all the things I was going through and so on. She was very thorough. And this Dr. Cho, the one that I have now, when she took over, she was young, she was also very nice. I have to say that. She took her time, she listened to me, she examined me, but that belonged to the past. Now, I don't know. She has changed. Maybe it had to do with government cutbacks. I really don't know. I'm missing something here. Remember when we went to the neurologist together?
Mhm.
That remember that she didn't want to send me to the neurologist, and you really have to insist because I have that problem in my back. Well, finally, you remember, she asked for the appointment. We got it 6 months later.
Well, young lady, let's see how you are doing today. Does that hurt?
A little.
Is it a sharp or a dull pain?
In between.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
Probably 5.
Is she having trouble sleeping?
She hasn't mentioned anything, Mum.
Well, often I cannot sleep because of the pain during the night.
Well, dear, we do need our sleep, don't we? What I'm thinking of doing is prescribing something to help dull the pain so that she can get through the night. It's important, though, that she follow the dosage. Would you please make sure that she follows those instructions exactly?
Doctor, can you tell me what do you think the cause of the problem is?
At your age, it can be any number of things. I'm not detecting anything that's particularly out of the ordinary. Just old age. If it gets worse in 6 months, get her family physician to call and make another appointment.
Okay.
Sleep through the night. That's what the doctors say. When a 70-year-old can sleep through the entire night. I mean, I don't understand. These young doctors don't know anything about older people. It's incredible. I thought that he was going to send me for a test. I really wanted to have an MRI for my knee because that's really bothering me.
But why didn't you ask him?
Well, I didn't want to upset him because I may have to go back and see him again. Ruby, my next door neighbor, she was saying that it's not easy to get an MRI these days. She said she asked her doctor, and the doctor said something like, I don't know, something that he called optimum benefit, which it means that they take people in according to their idea of importance. Mm-hmm. Therefore, after a certain age, we are at the very bottom of the list, and that's how I would be, I think.
Let's get back to your appointment. What did Dr. Chow say about the pains that you've been having with your knee?
You want to know? She said exactly this. The sad truth, my dear, is that our bodies break down. That was it. I made a mistake of telling her when she asked me about my pain on a scale from 1 to 10. I made a mistake of saying 5. Next time I'm going to say 10 and see if that will take her serious.
This vignette is situated in a high school cafeteria. It starts with one teacher in her 40s sitting at the cafeteria table, just waiting to continue in a celebration of a colleague, an elderly colleague, a man who has turned 80, who is retiring. Near the beginning of the scene, another teacher, herself nearing retirement, enters in, and it is a play between the two of them and their experiences. Later on, a very young colleague comes in and makes comments. It takes an examination of ageism through several generations. Oh, there there you are. We thought you weren't coming.
I totally was looking for you everywhere. I couldn't believe it that I got lost. The announcement, I'm pretty sure, said the library. I thought I was having a senior moment. I got the wrong date. But no, I was running upstairs to my office, and Sylvia said that it was over here.
Yes, it got changed this morning. Look, we texted everybody. We sent emails. But you don't have a smartphone. And I know you only check your email morning and evening.
You could have put a notice up in the library door.
What? And ruin the surprise? Anyways, Fran, everybody else got there.
Did I miss much?
Just the presentation, but it was short and sweet.
Was Dr. Frank surprised?
Yeah, he seemed to be. Not sure if he got the message, though.
What message is that?
That really it's time he retired. Can you imagine what he must be costing the school board? I'm sure they could hire 2 new teachers for what he gets paid. You know, it's time for him to relinquish his space and give younger teachers a chance.
I wonder how old he is. You know, he started here when I was in grade 13. He seemed old then. He might be approaching 80, but he's holding up well for someone his age, don't you think?
He's as smart as a tack.
Hey, have you got an extra program?
Yeah, here you go.
Oh, great. Oh my goodness, this type is really small. I'm having trouble reading that.
Well, not as bad as on pill bottles nowadays. You know, ironic, isn't it? Most pill poppers are old people. And the type is so small, you can't read it. Even I can't read it.
You know, don't forget, I'm one of those old people.
No one would believe it. You look amazing for your age,
thank
Fran. You'll never be old.
You know, I was thinking of letting my hair grow out.
You mean like going au naturel?
Why not? I hate dyeing it. I probably shouldn't have started.
Stop dyeing it, and you will be old.
It's not necessarily true.
Are you kidding? Blondes have more fun. Gray-haired women do not. Gray is the ticket to invisibility. Fran, you're surrounded by teenagers in this school. They aren't so kind, you know, to old people.
Yeah, but they're pretty respectful of Dr. Frank.
Not behind his back. They do some pretty wicked imitations of him hobbling down the hall. Besides, they think that he's cute. They refer to him as Yoda.
Helen, why wasn't I told about that planning meeting that was announced for the exchange project? I've been at every meeting since that group started, over 20 years. In fact, I started it.
Well, you know, it's a lot of work. We figured you probably didn't want to take on such a major project at this stage.
Oh, what stage is that?
Well, you're going to be retiring soon, right?
Yeah, but not tomorrow. I'll likely be here for another year, a year and a half. You know that.
Well, we assumed that you would want to gear down. Besides, some of the younger staff wanted to do some brainstorming and, now no offense, Fran, but they felt that they would feel freer for them to think outside the box if you weren't there at the first meeting.
You mean they think I can't think outside the box?
Oh, I didn't mean that. It's just that, well, today times are different. They know more about social media. And maybe there's a whole new way of approaching the project these days.
Well, there we are. Put my time in with Dr. Frank. Hey, Fran, you finally showed up.
I missed the email.
You are such a Luddite. You know, even Dr. Frank's more up to the times than you are. Do you know he's part of this online research group all around the country, working with these professors from all over the place? He's more connected than I am.
Yes, can you believe he got a part in a research project that's using a very special program. Joe, do you know what the name of that program is? What it's called?
He mentioned it when we were talking. Honestly, I can't remember. I got too distracted by the food down the front of his shirt. What is it with old people and wearing more of their food than they eat?
You too, my friend. I think you spilled some coffee down the front of your shirt.
I do that all the time. I'm such a klutz.
You know, it's sad.
What's that?
Growing old. He was such a great man. But look at him now, sitting there all alone. 30 years ago, he would have been the life of the party, the center of adoring multitudes.
Well, yeah, but, you know, he still has that quirky sense of humor.
Yeah, he's kind of cute that way. Well, I'd better go do my duty and keep him company. See you later.
Hey, Joe, do you think I should let my hair grow out? Grow out gray?
I don't know. It definitely takes some getting used to, but, you know, if you didn't like it, you could always change it back.
Well, men don't have to deal with this. They look distinguished, even when they're gray.
Oh, please, don't you believe that. I went to our high school reunion, or 25-year one, a couple years ago. One of the guys, he was dyeing his hair. And his beard.
Ooh.
It was pretty pathetic, him trying to pass himself off as a younger man like that.
Back.
Oh, you put in so much less time than I did.
I got a reprieve. You'll never guess what Dr. Frank told me just now when I was out there.
What?
Did you guys know he was getting married?
No way!
Well, good for him.
Did you know?
Yeah, I met them together at the market this week. He introduced her as his fiancée. They'd been high school sweethearts once.
And you didn't tell us? That's big news, Frank. Fran, who gets married at 80?
And you would definitely think he'd go for a younger woman.
Well, why should he?
To take care of him?
You know, there's other reasons to get married.
At his age?
Well, there's companionship, I suppose.
Why does everyone think that the only thing older people look for in a relationship is companionship?
Well, come on, can you imagine sex?
Look, spare me.
Hey, how do you cure sexual addiction after middle age?
I give up.
Leave the bedroom light on.
Oh, you two are disgusting. Where did he go? I hope he didn't hear us.
You know, she's out of hearing range, but we'd better behave. You know, Fran herself is no spring chicken either. She might have been offended by what we said.
They called him a calf and he left. I can't believe it. No one offered to go down with him.
Fran, I'm sure he'll be fine.
He's not that robust, you know. This new wing is so far away from the main entrance. I'm going to make sure he's okay.
Joe,
Mm-hmm.
did you find the program hard to read?
No, not at all. Why?
Fran did.
Fran's getting old.